Thank you very much. I want to open up with saying thank you to everyone, from ownership to every single employee in this club, to every player, but also to you. It was an amazing year. It was a busy year. It was an exhausting year. But I think everyone, including you, has done an amazing job in giving everything this year to push this club, to put this club in the best possible position. When I said last December to you and everyone in this organization, we will continue pushing. We want to make it the most attractive bride in the market. It needed a lot of belief from everyone. It needed a lot of energy of everyone to do this. And I can say today that everyone, including you, has done that. You have also been always a great partner in supporting our message and delivering our message. And yes, losing the last game hurts a lot, I can tell you. Was hard on Saturday, was hard yesterday. But still, it's the second best result you can get. And there are a lot of other results that other teams with other results that would have been loved to be in our position. And so not playing a final is no option. So competing for everything, and this is the other thing we said at the beginning of the season, we want to compete in every competition, in every game, and we have done so. We have competed in every competition. We have played every single match that we could play. Beside of the game number 3 in the first round of the playoffs, so this game no one wants to play. So we have played really every game that was possible. We have competed in every game, including the game on Saturday. And it was an inch that has made the decision on the one side to the other side. A double post, and then 1 inch, little mistake, genius moment on the other side. So I can only say thank you. And I can say one more thing. We will get over this sadness, and then the moment of belief will come. I'm long enough in this business, and I said it in the locker room, and there are some other who are long enough in this business who had similar moments, including Thomas, for example, with a huge Champions League final. And I had it with Mainz. And we came back stronger after that, and we were better after that. And then we got to the final result that we wanted to get to after this. And I have the strong belief that we will do this because we have since many years now built this club, this organization, and who was here on my very first day remembers that I said something that Jeff Mallett sometimes reminds me of. I said, I'm not Harry Potter. There's not a one-hit shot and wonder. We have to build it sustainable step by step. And this was only one more step. And for that reason, I am 100% convinced that we will not go back now, that it is not, that next year will not be a step backwards. No, that we will go from here forward. So once again, thank you. And then I have to say congratulations, because this organization won a record number of awards this year. And that is, I have to say, another expression of how great this organization has worked everywhere in every area. So I have to congratulate our BI team for being the BI team of the year. And I want to congratulate our whole communications team and Nathan for being the communication team of the year. Thank you very much.
Jesper?
Yeah, so I'll jump in here. I would say it has been a remarkable season. It's been a season with many more ups than downs, and you cannot always expect to get those kinds of seasons. We have to appreciate it. Even though we're sitting here on the backside of a final where we had the feeling we let it slip out of hand, but it was just sometimes what happens in games, and the opposition, they were good at taking advantage of what we gave them. I think it has been extraordinary for me to experience this club, how it works together. I would thank everybody. It's very easy when we're doing well on the pitch for people to give credit to a guy like me who's the head coach. I'm so happy, Axel, that you won Executive of the Year. I've said it many times throughout the season that the hard work has been done throughout years. When I came into something that was healthy, that was ready maybe for a new voice in some areas, but it's not that I came in and revolutionized anything. There has been an evolution going on for many years, and I have huge respect for that. And I think it's, if anything, very well deserved. I know that you don't consider this as an individual award, and I don't think that it is truly only an individual award. I think it's an award that goes, throughout the whole organization. But I also think that it exemplifies that you have been doing so much good work for this club over the time you've been here, and I think it's well deserved. I would say that on the other hand, we also have to give due to those who deserve it, and Miami deserved it the other day. My counterpart, Mascherano, doesn't always get the credit that he needs to be given, because he has some special players that takes all the limelight sometimes. And I will congratulate him with the MLS Cup win, of course. And I will also say that we will be back strong, ready to compete again. Axel said that we'll compete in every competition. Of course we will. But also sometimes it goes our way, like it did in the end down in Pumas when we prevailed there. Like it did against LAFC when things were really difficult and we made things difficult for ourselves. And we have the feeling that we let this game slip out of hand. That's what happens in this scenario. Overall, everybody in the organization has been a pleasure to work with, and also with you guys. After games, sometimes it's easy to be sitting where I'm sitting with the results we've been having. Sometimes it's more difficult after games like in Mexico and the other day, where you don't feel that you get the result that you hope for and really work so hard for. But overall, it will be a memorable season for me, and I will always keep that in mind and everything I experienced this year. And you asked me many times. I said I can't really wrap up the season yet because I'm only focused on what's ahead. But looking back at it, it's painful when you don't get the last bit out of it. But on the other hand, I think we're all grateful for the journey and for having this journey together with the guys we've had it together with. And that's the most important thing. And then we reach out for the stars, and let's see next year if we catch them.
Great, thank you. So we'll go to questions from the floor. To start, we ask that you ask one question to Axel and one question to Jesper. There will be time in addition following that. Michael, you have the mic.
Jesper, first of all, just want to congratulate you on the season and also thank you for how accommodating you've been this year and everything you've done with us, and also for the club and for the city as well. It's been a fun year covering the team, so I appreciate everything you've done. I don't want to look back, I kind of want to look ahead. Next steps is always what we kind of talk about when we have these end of season things, but you've set the bar so high in your first season now. How do you take that next step, which is obviously to win these cup finals? Do you feel you need to strengthen the squad, to bring extra additions in? Are you pretty much happy with what you have just now?
We're now sending a group on vacation. It will be the same players, a lot of them coming back, but it will not be the same group. A lot has happened throughout the season. We also need new dynamics. And also the way this league works. We know how it works with the salary cap and stuff, and we have to make adjustments. We will continue working every day on getting better. And I'm happy that we have been able to set the bar high. I believe we will be a better team next season, but it doesn't mean that we will get even better results. You also need a little bit of things going your way in the decisive moments in games. But I have the strong belief that players now, when we meet in, they will have a good. We are not starting over. We are starting from a very high foundation, and we will be ready to push it. Everybody's motivated. Everybody is know how we work and how we would like to go forward, and it's not going to be difficult for us to start out from a better starting point than last year, and I think it's been quite easy to see that the players have responded well to the way we play, and they got a better understanding of it, and that we actually look stronger and stronger. We played 3 finals this year. The first one was not close because we were not that close to Cruz Azul in Mexico. There was circumstances that was difficult in that one. The second one, we were much better, and it was not close because we were the much better team. And the third one, that was, decided in margins. And that's the one I focus most on, right? That's where we have to learn how do we tip those margins. And sometimes you don't know what it actually needs, because it could have. We're talking about hitting the post and stuff. But we'll definitely look into how do we get to become even better the way we would like to play, and how do we become a better team. Also, how do we recruit and scout for players that fit to the way we want to do things going forward, and then we have to see.
Axel, congratulations to you as well for your award. I think it's very well deserved. Kind of building on something Jesper said there, just also to kind of help us get our heads around it a little bit, with the MLS mechanisms and bonuses, when a team's successful, player salaries go up, how much of an issue is the salary cap going to be for the club next year in keeping the core of this group together?
Okay, there's several things that I have to say to that. So first of all, thank you. Thank you, and I also want just shortly to repeat what Jesper said. I really see that a reward as a reward for everyone who's working on the sporting side. I don't think that anyone wins the Sporting Executive of the Year if the team is not doing well. So there's a lot of people who have worked on that, making this club successful, and otherwise you wouldn't win this. So I share this reward with everyone who is working with me, and that actually is right away a good next transition to your question, because I work with an excellent expert in MLS cap, Quinn Thompson, and we are not in trouble at all with the cap. But I would say, is it really what we want to do to keep everything together and keep everything the same? I would question that. I don't think that we want to do this. We want to get some fresh energy. We want to get a little bit new competition. So for that, we will do certain things. We will do things to maybe also create the flexibility in the cap, but we could keep the team that we have and just continue. We have done very good work there, and we are always looking ahead. 1 season, 2 seasons, he is doing that mainly. He has always a chart already of next season and the following season, and so credit to him. What can be the next step is why we want to do this, because we want to do the next step. And you asked that, Jesper, and I want to say the next step could also be to prove that you can build a team successful and can be consistent, a team that plays in the playoffs in a top 4 position. We have seen that both teams who went to the final last year haven't made the playoffs this year. So doing the next step in this league sometimes is also only to prove that in the way we do things, you can build a roster with depth, you can do little changes with not getting in trouble in the cap and still be a team that competes in every single game and competes for being in a top position and competing for titles. And that's what we want to do. And so not every thing will be exactly the same next year, but by design, because we think it's also needed to create a little bit of, I would say, new that comes with new energy and new competition.
Hi. Jesper, I want to start with you. I've asked you so many times this season how you reflect on just the wild journey that you've been on. Is there a moment that stands out where you kind of were able to take a step back and go, holy cow, look at what we've done so far?
One moment is very difficult. I think everybody who was at BC Place when we played LAFC here would remember that moment, that game, you know, maybe for all the rest of their lives, right? That is a special moment. The fact that we have been able to excite so many people and gain, you know, that support from the whole city of Vancouver is definitely something that I take close to heart. I think that's what it's about. That's what sport's about. That people wants to be part of something, and it's way beyond yourself and your own, and just it's not for us. We're not just playing for us. We're playing for the fans and for excitement, and we want to compete and want to do the best we can. But it's amazing that we've got this support and the people have been so excited around us. But there are so many good moments. It's not just succeeding, you know, having great moments also in tough moments. We had great moments together after we lost the other day. We had, you know, tough moments also sometimes when you get really close together and you feel how much pain there is, but it will help you go. And when you feel that, you also get the feeling of how strong, you know, the bonds between players and staffs and stuff are. So I think, you know, it's been an entire journey. I cannot point to one single incident or, you know, special moment. There have been so many, and it's rare. It is rare, and for me, as Axel says, we want to be consistent. When you have a playoff system like you have in the MLS, and when you have it like you have it in the Champions League, Champions Cup, for me it's mostly about putting yourself in position. And then if you can go all the way and get all the way, then it's amazing. It's very, very tough. It's very difficult. But having the ability to always put yourself in position to have the option to win it and prevail is what we have to look for. And then when the moment is there, then you have to, of course, reach out for it. And I hope that we will be able to do that next year and reach the moment, reach out for whatever there is. And that's what we're going to start over and work so hard for. It's difficult after a season like that, like the one we just had, to say, yeah, we want to be better, and that's we want that. We want to be better. We want to be even better the way we play. We want to be, you know, a dominant team in this league, and I think we can be that, and put ourselves in position, hopefully, where we can sit next year around the same time and talk about big things again.
And Axel, when we all came together at the beginning of January, which seems like forever ago, there were so many questions hovering over this club, whether it was the future of ownership or it was even the head coach hadn't been announced yet. Now it seems like one of the big questions is stadium. Can you give us an update on what's going on with the stadium, both in terms of where you're at in negotiations with BC Place for next year and the future outlook of stadium in general?
Yeah, I actually said, I will say one sentence to that, and then I said I would like to answer these questions if there are more at the end of this media round. Let's keep it to the technical and sporting side first. But I would say the most important thing, we are planning next year, and no one has to be worried that we will not have a home next year. So we will definitely, we sold a record number of season tickets already. So I don't want that any of the people outside of this room who are listening to that or will read about that get scared. So when we speak about the next season and what we don't want to do, no one has to be worried about it in general, but there is a lot of things we have to work on and we have to improve, but that's for later then.
Yeah, Axel, I do want to follow up on that though, because okay.
I'm here. I stay here, but after the sporting side.
Then when you look at this season and all the success, congratulations on the award as well, Axel. I know that in the past you say you don't talk about your proudest moment, proudest about your family and everything, but what would be the most successful moment for you in the Vancouver Whitecaps this past season?
I don't think I'm completely through with processing the season, because while Jesper was speaking, I was thinking about so many little moments that were important in the season. I mean, and the first two games against Miami, I would say the win against Seattle at home, with all the challenges we had and how the group stand up at that day and fought. At the end, I want to answer it this way. We really did a great job this year, and it was our narrative, even after the biggest wins, that everyone said only one step, next one, we focus on the next step. So that it was a lot of little steps, and a lot of them have been super important looking back, retrospective. And each of them probably the same important, because you're not getting to where we have been at the end, if not a lot of little things went right, and a lot of very important little steps were done right. So it is really, really hard to say which one is the one, which one was the most important moment. I mean, even the first game in Portland, with all the difficulties we had in this game, honestly, because we came from Costa Rica and we had even an early kickoff, and we have never spoken about that. So I think maybe the most important thing, and that I'm the proudest of, I don't like the word proudest, is that we never in this whole year, never ever, at no moment have looked for excuses. And there would have been a lot of reasons that we could have brought forward why it was harder for us than for other teams. And so I was super happy that at the end it was Vancouver Whitecaps against Miami, because I think both teams equally had a very, very tough and hard season with a lot of challenges. And it feels like several seasons. It feels like one season to the Champions Cup final, and then one season where we had to go through all these issues is after that. Not only the fact that we had this virus, also that we lost a lot of players, couldn't use a lot of players because they went to the national teams. And we never could process this game, really, because the players left from Mexico City to their national teams. And how we managed through that challenge and stick together as a group, and how we grabbed points on the left, on the right, in that time. And then players came back injured and were out for the rest of the season. Yeah, so there are a lot of little things. I mean, at the end, the other thing that makes me very happy is that we all celebrated together after this game, after the Miami game, and celebrated a great season with our families, with all our stuff. And that a player like Damir Kailer came from Europe to celebrate with his team. what shows what was really important this year. We didn't look for excuses. We always stick together as a group and fought through everything, and that's probably the most important, and would be my headline of this year.
Thank you. And Jesper, it's been a historic season for the club. Most wins, most points throughout the season. For you in your career, where does this rank for you personally?
No, all the way up. Of course it does. No matter where you're a coach, whatever league you're in, you always coach to win the next game. And we've been so fortunate being able to do that. We've been, as Axel rightly says, we could pick maybe an excuse or two, right, throughout the season. But we haven't. And working with the players in a season like this, the way everybody has stepped up and believed in each other, and that just ranks all the way up that we'll make it, to the finals we made. It's not every day that a team plays Champions Cup final and MLS Cup final the same year. I understand. I'm not the most knowledgeable of this league, but in the modern league, I think it's only two teams. It's LAFC in 23 and then us. And I think, with what we faced throughout the season, I think it speaks volumes to how extremely difficult this season has been, and also what it's actually, what a kind of performance the team has done. And I think that's definitely the best season in my coaching career. Also, I've not experienced a season like this as a player. So, yeah, it's not just up there; it's at the top.
So congratulations to both of you. It's been an amazing time, because I think this is the first time, that so many people who generally wouldn't follow soccer are starting to follow soccer, thanks to everything that's happened. And my question to you, I don't even know if this is okay, but is there anything that, that happened in Miami? The players are now on a well-deserved break, but that you'll be working on in the new year, Jesper, with the guys that you sort of, something that came up in the game or something that you thought, oh, maybe we should do this or that?
I would not say specifically for that game, but yeah, I definitely think a lot about how we can add to the way we play and how we can make things even better going forward, and how we can add new layers to what we can do as a team when we play. And that will be a constant thing for me and for the coaching staff, how we can, because the opposition, they will not stop adding to what they can do. So we also have to keep adding to what we can do, and keep progressing and keep pushing the players for adding stuff to our repertoire as a team. I would not say that it was specific for the game in Miami. We had, I think, in that game, I saw a team play the way I would like to see us play. Also in Big Mo, we took the initiative. We were not afraid to play out and dominate against them. We know that it's a team that's very good on the ball. Normally it has the ball a lot, but this time they had to settle with, not chasing the ball instead of having the ball. But in the end, it was about a couple of moments where we made mistakes. They did very well, and we just have to add to what we can do on a pitch, and we will. And we will also see new players in new positions, new roles, also for established players. And that's because there's a saying that you don't step into the same river twice, right? It's not the same water running, it passed you. And that will be the same. It will be the same players, it will be the same, a lot of the same players coming in, but there will be also players who takes huge steps like Sebastian maybe did this year. He was the player who was already in the group but not in the same role, and that will be the same for next year. People will take steps to and make it to the next level. Some will not have the same role as they're used to, and that's just normal in football. And so we have to keep working at seeing how we can get even better, and also maybe change up a couple of things, because as we both talked about, we also need new dynamics. We need players to compete in different areas in different ways, and it's also always nice to get fresh players in who really wants to set their mark on the group and on the team, and that's normal, and that's what you always need, and that's what we definitely will also do in this off-season.
Okay, and then a question for Axel. So Thomas Müller came out of nowhere, for me at least. And do you have any other surprises that you can talk about that are happening in the new year, like Manuel Neuer is suddenly going to be the new goalie or something?
So because he came out of nowhere, I haven't talked about it before, so probably we better keep it like that, that I don't talk about things before. We will continue and build this roster and this team in the way we believe, and I think over this many years we got also a lot of buying in from the people in our market, that they understand what we want to do and how we want to do things. So we keep it quiet, and we'll come back to you if we have something to announce.
I'll start with Axel. You discovered Tate Johnson in the Super Draft last year. You probably got out of him far, far more than you would have expected for a Super Draft pick. And so you have the Super Draft next week. I was curious to know, in a sort of a general way, what kind of class of players might be available there that you're going to have a look at, or you're looking at, and is it sort of as talented of a group or more talented than maybe last year or the year before?
Yeah, the one bad thing about performing so well in the league is that you drop so far in the Super Draft rankings. So, look, another, and as I said before, you win this title, and it's because of the many good people that you have in your organization. So, credit. I haven't discovered Tate Johnson, really not. Credit to our data analytics team and Dave Durr, who is working for us as our head scout for college scouting and the Super Draft, and he's super passionate about that. And I think he was at every single combine in 30 years and has relationships to all college coaches. So we haven't made our decision, and it will be very hard to make a decision, because if you come as a very, very low pick, you have to see what everyone does before you. But I would say thank you to the amazing work of those people. We have been very good in the draft over many years, and also with second picks, low picks. Levante Johnson was one, Mark O'Neill was one, who also was with the first team for a time now. So we will look into this whole player pool, and we will be prepared for the moment we get to picking, and I'm pretty sure that we will pick a player who over the time of the year will be helpful.
For you, Jesper, you provided an opportunity and got to see several young players grow. And it wasn't just Tate Johnson who had an immediate impact, but it was a Jivan Badwal, it was a Ryan Alumi, it was a number of players, I think even Mark McKenzie and so forth, but players that kind of had been given a chance to really kind of develop as through MLS Next Pro into your first team and become players that you could use in first team games, and your thoughts on that process as well, and how you sort of rated it as sort of a measure of success, you could say, as part of this season.
For me it's normal that when you see young players do well in training sessions, that they get the opportunity to play in games, and if you see potential in a player, you also have to nurture it, and you have to give them the opportunity to show you in a first team setting that they can manage it. You don't expect you don't expect always a young player to be the best player, because if that was the case, then he would probably have played even before. So, but what you expect to see is that they play with the right intentions, and they're not scared, and that they want to do their job within the system, what is required from them. And then sometimes you see some extra special talent. And I think in general, I told Axel many times, I'm quite surprised, and that might be wrong, about the amount of very good young talents we have in this club, but maybe because I didn't know much about it. And it's always easy to take the safe choice and go with the guy who has proven you a lot throughout many years. But at one point, if you never play your young players, then they'll just move, and then you'll never see if they were actually good enough. So the fact that we played Tate Johnson for the whole season, been part of the team the whole season, Jeevan Barwal, who has showed throughout the season that he is definitely a future player for us. Ryan Illumi, Liam McKenzie, is very important. And we played a lot of games, and there have been opportunities where we could also, play them. And the better the structure of the team is, and the better the team is, the easier it is for those guys also to do well on the pitch, because they're surrounded by good teammates, and they're surrounded by a structure that helps them, so they don't feel that they play alone and have to manage everything alone on the pitch. And I think that's just very important. Every player was young once when they started playing, and we have to make sure that we don't send a player away who has a huge potential, because we never got to see him play on the first team.
Thank you. Congratulations. Fantastic season. Axel, bringing Thomas over, obviously high expectations, and it seemed like a home run right from the get-go, the way the city embraced him and vice versa. Did that end up exceeding your expectations? And for you, what was the most rewarding part of bringing him to Vancouver?
I don't think that anything can exceed the expectations if you bring in Thomas, one of the highest rewarded players in this game. So I would say what worked perfectly is his whole integration and his settling in and the impact he had right away. And we have seen that is not always easy in this league. And we had right away a good feeling about it, even before we signed him, in the conversations we had with him. And then credit to him how professionally he has prepared himself for this. He has watched games of us with the analyst of Bayern Munich in Germany before he even came here. So I would say it was exactly what we hoped for. The one thing that helps us to go this inch further, and the one thing that helps us to maybe get for the whole group the acknowledgement of the great work that we are already doing, because we also have to understand that that's how it sometimes works. You bring in one player and now everyone gets aware of what you did already very well before. So, and he wasn't shy of mentioning that this was already a very good team, and that he sees himself only as a, I would say, as a turbo maybe to what we have already. So that's also the best what we got out of it, that he maybe increased by a margin everything that was already very good to get us to better. And other than that, I just had an exit meeting with him. He is such an outstanding person off the pitch, and you all have felt that and seen that, and that makes it a perfect combination. And I can share that I spoke with the commissioner before the game, and he said to me, he is a unicorn, and I would definitely sign that. And it's good to find unicorns because they're very rare, very rare.
Jesper, what is your biggest takeaway from being a manager for a unicorn?
Yeah.
Or just a high.
Caliber football player. Well,
Yeah, let's.
what did you learn from,
Let's keep
from
it
being
there.
his manager?
I think no. The biggest takeaway is that the competitiveness and drive Thomas has for proving himself. Still, when people around him might say that, yeah, you don't need to prove anymore to anybody. He thinks he has a lot to prove himself, I think, and wants to every day see how he can affect things for the better. And he is extremely smart, because he knows that the best way he can affect things is to help his teammates play better. It's not just about what he can do. So I think that's definitely a thing that I learned about coaching him, and also how important it is to him to be coached as well. He wants also to be coached, and he wants to be into everything, because he's very loyal to what we're doing, and he wants to be in all the details, so he knows what we think, so he can help his teammates on the pitch. And Thomas is all about trying to win, and trying to make a difference for the team he plays on, and he tries to do that both on and off the pitch, and that's quite unique. Not that he's the only guy who tries to do that, but for a player with that resume and with that career, come into Vancouver Whitecaps and try to do that immediately is, I think, did not exceed my expectations, but lived very much up to it. And Thomas did not want to, I can tell you now, he was not all in on being vice captain to Ryan Gold to start out with, because he did not want to come in and say, this is like, yeah, I'm the big dog now, I want to be the captain. But we had discussions. I felt that it was important for the group that he took upon him this role. Ryan is a very good captain. We kept him in the captaincy because he's a great captain, but Thomas is a vice captain, and I think it worked out perfectly. I really think it has, for the group and for Thomas as well.
Perfect. We will now go on before transitioning to the business side. We'll start with Joshua, then Tyler, then Nathan.
How do you not only reflect on how do you thought you grew as a coach, and how do you look to improve heading into your second season?
By taking some time off, and life is one long learning process, and hopefully we never stop trying to learn new stuff and try to learn from experiences. When we win a game, nobody questions the coach's decisions, even though he's wrong sometimes. It's just hidden by the result that it was apparently successful. When you lose a game, thoughts come up all the time. What could we have done here? What could we have done there? Even though the most decisions probably were right. And most questions you ask in this business will never have an answer, right? It will be speculative. But I always look to try to progress and evolve as a coach, and there will be a lot of stuff I will look into. How can I help the team add layers to what we already can do, and how can I be a better coach going forward? And that's what you have to be open to all the time. And I have a great coaching staff around me, and they will definitely remind me every day. Yeah, we have to. Our job is to help the team win games, and help the individual player get better. And how we do that, and how we get even better at doing that, is definitely a thing that everyone in the coaching staff will look into and see how we can get better at that.
For Axel, just, the core of this group is staying together, and given how unpredictable MLS can be, how do you all avoid staying too complacent and also moving to the next step you guys want to take?
Did you ask how we avoid to stay become complacent? Or
Yes.
was that the question? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure. So I think that there's one thing that no one has to be worried about in our group, is that we become complacent. I think that's the really last thing you can say about our team ever in the whole season. So I'm not worried about that. But to answer the question is what I said before. By design, we want to change a few things. We don't have to. We are not under pressure from the cap perspective. But we want to change. And as we have always done, we want to add a mix of different players, some who will be young and can grow in our club, some who will maybe immediately add something to the group, and help us to repeat and to consistently continue where we have been. And will be also natural that some players are knocking at our door and maybe haven't played enough from their perspective and who want to change. So we will look into this. So we will have the natural changes. No changes will be forced. No changes will happen under pressure. But we will do again what we think is right, as we have done last year. And I'm pretty confident and very optimistic that we will have a really, really good group that will compete again next year, the way we want to be, and with the DNA that we have built here, and that is our strength.
Okay, we'll go Tyler next, and then Nathan.
Jesper, when you look at this team, what kind of key areas are you looking to improve and kind of prioritize this off season for you?
That's not a question I would like to ask or answer, because then I would say a lot about the players we already have, and I would say a lot to our to our competitors about what we would like to do in this off season. I will say that in general terms, I think the identity we have as a team, as a proactive, a very active team that doesn't allow opponents to just dominate and take control of the games like we also saw in the final, I like, and that requires definitely running capacity from our players. That will be something that we always look at. And also the technical ability for us to control the game with the ball is also something that we will always look into with players. And then, when you look at players, you don't know how it's going to work out. You have an idea because you've seen something that you like. We see potential in what they can do for us, but you never have any guarantees. That's how it works. So we would like to look at players that we feel fit in the way we would like to do things going forward, and that's some things that we always are looking for. And the way we already play a technical style where we have the ball a lot, but also where we want to attack, is players fitting into that kind of way of playing, and also players that have the mentality of always see the team first and wants to work hard on the pitch, because we are a hard-working team, and we will continue being a hard-working team.
And then, Axel, when you evaluate the season that you've had on a kind of a club-wide perspective, what lessons have you learned and how is that kind of shaping the planning for next season and beyond?
Wow. I have learned a lot of lessons, and I hope I will continue to learn a lot of lessons, because I think we're learning every day, in the best case. Wow, I don't think I'm prepared for that yet, because I'm still processing through the season, and there's also a lot of things we are still analyzing, and we will have a meeting with, on both sides, business and sporting side, meetings with the business intelligence groups, analytic groups. But you know, there are also some learnings about things that we did that they worked out well, and we have to continue to do them, because if we want to be this team, if we have to play this amount of games, if we have traveled that much, then we need depth, and we need players who have also the skill set to do this again and again and again with travel in and out. And so you learn also from things, and understand that you have to continue on the path that you have chosen, if it works out well, and so we will do. But I would say, if you really want to have this fazit and learning and next season and next steps discussion, you have to wait a few weeks until I'm really through it.
Okay, we'll go with Nathan next, please. Zeb, if you can unmute Nathan's mic.
I think that will be necessary.
Sebastian, are you online still? Okay, this one. There we go.
There we go. First off, gentlemen, congratulations on the season. It was always entertaining to watch. Jesper, I wanted to start with you. Simon talked about a lot of the young players that were given opportunities in the squad this season. I wanted to speak specifically about Ryan Alumi and Nelson Pierre. Obviously, two young attacking players you have on your squad. With the purchase option not being picked up on Daniel, how do you feel these players are going to kind of continue to grow within your squad next year, being that they're going to be kind of like number 2, number 3 behind Brian White?
Yeah, that's a good question and a lot of assumptions. Of course, we see that. That Ryan and Nelson is talented strikers that can hopefully grow, and they definitely have already shown that they have and possesses qualities that will be good enough to be able to do well in the MLS. So I think, you know, having those kind of prospects is always a pleasure and also a luxury, and we also have to work them well on the training ground, so they can participate even more in the team's play and in the team's hopefully continuation of growth the next couple of seasons. And you know, they already shown that they have been able to set their mark in games in MLS, so they should also be very, very motivated themselves to come in fit from an off season and wanting to set their mark immediately in this team.
Thank you, Axel. Moving over to you. You had talked about this summer how there was teams. Not only were you looking for players, but other clubs were looking at your players as possibly interested in bringing them over. I don't want to, give out state secrets here or anything, but being how well the Whitecaps did this year, how busy do you think your phone is going to be heading into this offseason with people looking at your club and your players?
You know, as I said before, it's a good thing. So I always see that only as a good thing if our players are in the center of interest and clubs want to call us and ask them. But the way better thing is that what I said before, there's no pressure on our side, no need on our side to move anyone. So said that, I can say that a lot of those calls will be unnecessary or will be a useless spend of time, because we want to do and continue the next step, and for that we need to keep our group together, our core group together, and we need a foundation on that we built. But there will be also changes. So we'll look into this. As I said, I'm very confident, very optimistic and positive that we will have a really, really good group together. And changes are part of this game as well. And every club is doing this at the end of a season. And some of them are also coming from as I said before, maybe some frustration, disappointment or about the minutes somebody got, and then it's sometimes even is the better thing to find a good end. And we are in a good place with every player. We are in the exit meetings. Everyone appreciate what the club has done for them, and we will look into this. But again, the most important thing is that you build your roster in a way that you never get under pressure to do things, because you don't do good business under pressure. So we are not under pressure to move somebody out, and we're not under pressure to bring somebody in. And I would say that gives us the belief and the optimism that we will do good business this off-season, and that we will have a good group starting into the camp in January, going to Spain, and that Jesper has everything he needs to build on this season and to continue to do what he did with his team this year. And then by design, we want also some changes. And then we maybe pick up the phone for the one or the other, but no promises here.